Revolutionary greetings, comrades. The countdown to the Zimbabwe 2023 elections have started. And in this YouTube channel, we'll be focusing more on these elections. These elections are historic in that they come at a time when we have the war in Ukraine. A number of countries are divided on the Ukraine conflict. Some are supporting Russia, others are supporting NATO. But where does Zimbabwe stand in the Ukraine conflict? We know that ZANU PF supports Russia. What if the opposition wins in the 2023 elections? Will Zimbabwe continue to support Russia, or it will support NATO? These are the questions that, as we focus on the 2023 elections in Zimbabwe, we should be asking ourselves. Even though in this video we're not going to talk about the conflict itself in Russia and the views of the different political forces in Zimbabwe on the question of the Ukraine conflict. We'll focus on that some other time. But in this video, we want to focus on the ZANU PF primary elections that are to happen in a matter of days or a few weeks. ZANU PF introduced the primary elections in 1990 to select in each ward and a constituency a person that will represent them in the general elections. In this case, the harmonized elections that we expect to happen towards the end of July, beginning of August. So the countdown indeed has started. The interesting part is that ZANU PF primary elections requires every member of ZANU PF to participate. It is not a political structure in the ward or in the district or constituency that will select a candidate. It is the entire membership of ZANU PF. And you know that ZANU PF, particularly in rural areas, mobilizes or uses traditional leaders as part of its mobilization strategy. And we have spoken in the previous videos, which we'll also revisit again, the issue of freebies that are distributed. I do not have the exact figures of the membership of ZANU PF, but each member of ZANU PF is expected to participate in the primary elections. This is important in us to understand, in that the ZANU PF turnout or its membership turnout in the primary elections will give a sense of what is likely to happen in the harmonized elections. Let's assume 20% or 30% of the registered voters in a constituency turn out to vote for ZANU PF or turn out to participate in the ZANU PF primary elections. It means those 20 to 30% registered voters in a ward or constituency would again participate in the harmonized elections. And of course, there are those that are not necessarily members of ZANU PF who might not qualify to vote in the primary elections, but will then vote for ZANU PF in the harmonized elections. So the primary elections assist political scientists and students of political science, of course, to understand whether indeed at a council constituency level does ZANU PF rig elections, because the turnout in the primary elections gives an indication whether ZANU PF still retains support, because in rural communities it is expected that for one to register for freebies, whether it's a fertilizer, maize meal, whatever is being distributed by government structures using ZANU PF, of course, must be a card holder of ZANU PF. So such individuals are expected to turn out and participate in the primary elections. So primary elections of ZANU PF, or the polling stations, are designed almost similar to the polling stations that we will have in the harmonized elections towards the end of July, August, whenever the elections are going to happen mid-year. So this therefore means that if in a polling station where about 2,000 people are registered as voters, and you see a turnout of about 500 members of ZANU PF participating in the primary elections, one would then conclude that before we even start the election, the harmonized elections, ZANU PF will be having 500 people that will vote for it in that particular polling station. So it's important that students of political science and observers must pay a keen interest in the upcoming ZANU PF primary elections. As I move to conclusion, what is of interest, of course, I have seen 3 comrades that were together in the MDC that are also taking part in the ZANU PF primary elections. All 3 of them were together at the MDC Congress in 2011. We worked together in the MDC. I've seen their posters. 2 are in Matebele in South, 1 is in Maswingo. I've seen their posters that they are campaigning. Maybe we'll see more posters of some former opposition members that have joined the ranks of ZANU PF. And this raises a critical question to say, what is it that attracts opposition members to ZANU PF, or former opposition members to ZANU PF? Why would these comrades resign from the main opposition, join the ranks of ZANU PF to an extent that they then seek to represent ZANU PF in parliament in 2023 elections? 10 years ago, they were campaigning for the MDC. One was contesting as a member of parliament for the MDC. He lost. The other 2 were supporting, as members of the MDC, the candidates of the MDC in the 2013 elections. 10 years later, they want to represent ZANU PF in parliament. I have not paid much attention at this stage in the council elections, primary elections for ZANU PF. We might discover that there are others, former opposition members, who want to represent ZANU PF at council level. So it's very interesting and raises these questions to say, what attracts former opposition members to ZANU PF? Is it destroying ZANU PF from within, or they always had a soft spot for ZANU PF, or their economic interests can only be served when they are members of ZANU PF. You might want to comment. Please send your comments in the comment section. Your input is valuable to us as we focus on the elections in Zimbabwe. As I said, that it is important that we understand and we study the turnout in the elections, in the primary elections for ZANU PF, because it gives us a guide of the turnout of ZANU PF supporters in the harmonized elections. Please like this video, circulate, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I am Mabuto Nicholas Mapena. Have a great day. Goodbye.